Welcome to the Week in Review Athlete Edition version of the Daily Sports Content Economy podcast for Friday, 2026-03/20. We created this podcast specifically for alternative and Tier 2 sports athletes who compete in them as part of the AthletePRNR operating system that Bryce will be debuting soon to help athletes quit their day jobs and go full-time, monetize, and extend their career. We just got out of a meeting with Bryce, and he wanted us to share what should be top of mind for today as you navigate the day.
Yeah, and honestly, the timing on this just could not be better. I mean, the entire landscape of how you actually build a career and generate revenue as an athlete right now is totally fracturing.
It really is. We were actually just looking at the numbers before we hit record today.
Right.
And it's wild. Like, do you know that a professional mountain biker or, say, a United Soccer League player with just 15,000 really engaged followers is currently, statistically speaking, more valuable to certain performance brands than a massive mainstream celebrity with 2 million followers?
Which just sounds backwards, right? But it's true.
Yeah, we are looking at a total inversion of how athletic value is calculated today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why we're doing this. Today's deep dive is generated from an absolutely massive stack of research. I mean, we are pulling from over 36 distinct sports business publications, newsletters, industry reports. It's a lot.
It's a mountain of data. We've got stuff from the Sports Business Journal, The Athletic, Sport Business, Leah Haberman's Substack, and a bunch of others.
Yeah.
That whole stack encompasses well over 120 unique headlines and references from literally just the last week.
And look, trying to read all of that while maintaining your own training schedule, it's impossible.
Yeah, nobody has time for that.
Right. So our mission for this deep dive is to basically synthesize that whole data dump into the top 4 or 5 macro headlines and trends.
Yeah.
The ones that are going to directly impact you, the Tier 2 alternative and endurance athlete.
Because we aren't just reading the news here. We are trying to build a strategic playbook. And here's my promise to you, the listener. Every single trend we cover today is going to come with a specific, highly actionable, do-today task.
I love that.
Yeah, by the time we wrap up, you'll have a checklist of things you can execute before the day is out to immediately start helping monetize your athletic career.
Perfect.
So to kick things off, let's talk about the foundation of all of this, which is the audience. Because, I mean, before you can monetize anything, you need people actually paying attention to you.
Right. Attention is the currency.
Exactly. And where that attention lives has fundamentally shifted away from traditional broadcasters.
Yeah, it really has. And the report that really anchors this shift comes from The Desk. They recently covered the Altman-Solon Global Sports Survey.
Okay.
And their central finding is that global streaming is just rapidly reaching parity with linear TV. In fact, in a few European markets, streaming has actually already completely surpassed traditional cable for live sports viewership.
Wow. But, reading through that Altman-Solon report, there's a massive catch there.
Oh, a huge one.
Yeah, the traditional sports rights holders, the massive leagues and those legacy networks they're facing, what the report calls a reach versus revenue gap.
Yeah, the reach versus revenue gap.
Let's break down the mechanics of that because it sounds a bit like corporate speak, but it's actually the exact reason alternative athletes have such a huge opening right now.
It really is the most critical dynamic in sports media right now. Basically, premium live games on traditional television, they still generate massive guaranteed revenue, right?
Yeah.
Through cable carriage fees and those traditional commercial packages.
Right.
But the actual reach, like the raw daily attention, especially among literally anyone under the age of 35 that's migrating away. It's moving to creator-led content, short-form, social media, YouTube, all of that.
So the real problem for the leagues is that this creator-led content currently under-monetizes compared to those legacy pay TV models. The attention has moved to the internet, but the traditional advertising dollar just hasn't fully figured out how to follow it efficiently yet.
Exactly. They have the eyeballs, not the same cash flow.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let me float an analogy here to see if I have the mechanics right.
Okay, go for it.
Traditional broadcasts are like these really expensive, sit-down Michelin star restaurants. They generate incredibly high revenue per customer, right? Charging $500 a plate, but they can only seat maybe 50 people a night.
Right. Very exclusive.
Yeah, so their growth is capped and the barrier to entry is super high.
I see where you're going with this. And the creator-led content.
Creator-led content is the wildly popular food truck parked right outside the restaurant.
Yeah.
It's highly accessible. It's where the massive crowds are actually hanging out, but they are only charging $5 a taco. So the leagues have the Michelin star infrastructure, but they are suddenly realizing they desperately need the food truck's volume to survive the digital shift. They have to own the food trucks.
That analogy actually tracks perfectly with the data. The Michelin star restaurant can't just suddenly lower its prices.
Right.
And it definitely can't force the giant crowd on the street to come inside and put on a suit. So what do? They franchise the food trucks.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, if we pull in a headline from the Business of YouTube newsletter, they highlight this really groundbreaking partnership between FIFA and YouTube creators ahead of the 2026 World Cup. FIFA is literally allowing creators unprecedented access.
And we aren't just talking about like giving a YouTuber a press pass to sit in the stands and vlog with their phone, right?
No, not at all. FIFA is explicitly giving creators the ability to stream 10-minute live stream windows of the actual World Cup matches directly on their own personal YouTube channels.
Man, think about how wild that is for a second. FIFA is historically one of the most litigious, protective organizations on the planet when it comes to their broadcast rights.
Oh, absolutely.
They normally issue takedown notices if you post like a blurry 5-second clip of a goal from your TV. And now they're handing actual live match windows to independent creators. They're literally giving away a piece of the broadcast to the food trucks.
Because FIFA looked at the math and realized that this appetizer concept is basically their best survival strategy.
Yeah.
That 10-minute window is a lead generation tool. FIFA knows that a 19-year-old fan views a reaction video or a live stream from their favorite creator as just as official as a studio pundit in a suit.
Right.
So you, the Tier 2 or alt sports athlete, you are the food truck. You bring that repeatable, highly engaged digital audience that these larger entities desperately need to bridge their reach to revenue gap.
So if you are a mountain biker or a United Soccer League player or maybe a rodeo athlete, how do you actually capitalize on this today? Because you obviously can't just sit around and wait for FIFA to call you.
No, definitely not. You have to start acting like a media channel that a rights holder or a sponsor can seamlessly plug into.
Yeah.
So here is your first action item for the listener today. Audit your last 30 days of content. Look at every single thing you've posted.
Okay.
And I want you to identify 1 or 2 repeatable video formats that you can turn into a consistent weekly series.
Give me a specific example of what a format looks like.
Okay, let's say you're a triathlete. Stop just posting random sweaty selfies after a run.
Right.
Create something like a Tuesday transition teardown, where every single Tuesday you spend 60 seconds breaking down the mechanics of moving from the bike to the run. Or maybe a Friday fuel check, where you review different nutrition gels.
Oh, I like that.
It needs a title, it needs a consistent format, and a reliable posting schedule. You really have to program a predictable series that a sponsor or a league could eventually buy ad space against. You're building your own 10-minute window.
That makes perfect sense. You're basically shifting from just being a random social media user to an actual inventory provider.
Exactly.
And that actually transitions us perfectly into our next major trend. Because once you establish that repeatable food truck audience we've been talking about, it turns out the massive corporate ad dollars are finally figuring out how to follow you.
Yeah, and the numbers we pulled for this are just staggering. According to a joint report from Yahoo Finance and Creator IQ, it's titled Creator Economy Statistics 2026, the global influencer market is projected to hit $34 billion this year alone.
$34 billion. That is, that's wild. And the subset of that data that really caught my eye was the shift in corporate strategy. Brands are now shifting up to 25% of their entire digital marketing budgets directly to influencer and creator initiatives.
Yep.
The creator workforce is actually growing faster than a lot of traditional media buying segments.
But here is where we really need to look at the underlying mechanics, because a lot of athletes hear $34 billion and they immediately think, well, that's just Nike paying Cristiano Ronaldo or LeBron James. That money isn't trickling down to me.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I was definitely going to push back on that exact point. If I'm, say, a niche big wave surfer or a regional CrossFit competitor with 10,000 followers, how does a macroeconomic shift of billions of dollars actually reach my bank account? Aren't these massive brands just throwing that budget at the mega celebrities?
What's fascinating here is that the Yahoo and Creator IQ report explicitly contradicts that assumption.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The data shows that micro-influencers, which the industry broadly defines as those in the 10,000 to 50,000 follower range, they frequently deliver significantly higher engagement rates and a much better return on ad spend than top-tier celebrities.
Interesting.
We are seeing a massive structural shift in how brands calculate value. They are moving away from team-first, top-down valuations to athlete-first, bottom-up reach.
Let's unpack the why behind that. Because if I'm a running shoe brand, why on earth would I prefer a local marathoner with 15,000 followers over a massive pop star with 2 million followers?
It all comes down to customer acquisition cost and trust. Look, if you pay a pop star to hold up a running shoe, maybe 1% of their audience actually runs.
Right, so you're paying for a massive amount of wasted impressions.
Exactly. But niche sports triathlons, mountain biking, rugby, they boast incredibly vertical, high-trust audiences. Those 15,000 followers aren't just passive scrollers. They are highly dedicated, gear-obsessed, active participants in your exact vertical.
So a performance-oriented advertiser knows that if they give you a unique affiliate link or a promo code, the conversion rate is going to be incredibly dense. You aren't just providing a billboard, you are providing a direct sales funnel to a highly qualified buyer.
You nailed it. And brands have the software to track that pixel by pixel now. They know exactly how much revenue you drive. The days of needing 1 million followers to make a living are entirely gone. Value is now about the depth of your community, not just the width of your exposure.
Which brings us to the do-today action for the listener. How do they actually tap into that $34 billion pipeline this afternoon?
Okay, your task is to build a one-page sports creator rate card. First, list the last 5 brands you authentically talked about on your social channels, whether they paid you or not.
Just to show you actually use them.
Exactly, proves you already have brand affinity. Then, outline 2 to 3 clear video or series offerings, like that Tuesday teardown series we just discussed.
What specifically needs to go on this piece of paper, though? Like, how does it look?
It needs to be a simple PDF that clearly lists your audience demographics. So, age, location, and most importantly, your engagement rate. Then you list your packages. Tier 1 might be a dedicated 60-second integration in your weekly series for X dollars. Tier 2 could be a bundle of 3 Instagram reels and a newsletter shout-out for Y dollars.
Right.
Stop waiting for brands to offer you a free t-shirt in exchange for a post. You are a media property now. You need to package your highly engaged audience and put an actual price tag on it.
That is such a vital mindset shift. Stop asking for free gear and start selling access to your community. But let's take this a step further. We've talked about selling your audience's attention. I want to look at a trend where athletes are selling their actual biological data and daily process.
Oh, this is a big one.
Because athletes are no longer just competitors. They are becoming lifestyle, data, and fitness brands themselves.
This is where technology is just completely rewriting the job description of a professional athlete. We pulled a report from SportsVerse analyzing the rise of the creator-led fitness economy. They project that the fitness creator market alone could exceed $3.1 billion by 2033.
And the technological adoption is really what's driving that. The SportsVerse article notes that roughly 80% of gym members now use wearables or digital fitness tools. We are totally a data-obsessed culture.
We really are.
And we saw this play out at the massive enterprise level in the Sports Business Journal, which just reported on Ironman's heavy investment in their partnership with TriDot's AI-driven training platform.
Yeah, and we need to look at why Ironman is doing that. Traditionally, an organization like Ironman makes money from you maybe a couple of times a year, right? When you pay a massive registration fee for a race.
Right.
But what happens the other 360 days of the year? Ironman partnering with an AI platform shows they understand they need subscription revenue.
Yeah.
They need to keep athletes paying into their ecosystem year-round, not just on race day.
And TriDot essentially uses artificial intelligence to analyze an athlete's biometric data and then spit out these highly optimized, personalized training plans. So Ironman is monetizing the daily preparation.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, here's how this applies to the individual athlete listening right now. The line between coach, athlete, and content creator just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
The data from your wearables, your heart rate variability, your sleep score, your functional threshold power on the bike, that data provides measurable, undeniable proof of your effectiveness. It basically turns your daily, sweaty, repetitive grind into a premium digital product.
Let me stop you there, though, because if I'm a highly competitive tier 2 athlete, my immediate reaction is panic.
How so?
Well, am I not just giving away my secret sauce? Like, if I'm sharing my exact heart rate zones, my AI-generated training blocks, and all my recovery metrics online, aren't I just handing my competitors the blueprint to beat me on Sunday?
It's a valid fear for sure, but it's a trap. The reality of the modern sports economy is that the data is the content. Fans and recreational athletes don't just want the polished race results on Sunday anymore. They want the gritty Tuesday morning journey.
They want the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Exactly. They want to see the struggle. Furthermore, sharing your raw data doesn't give away your willpower, your pain tolerance, or your actual execution on race day.
Right. I mean, anyone can look at an Olympic marathoner's split times, but very few people can actually go out and run them. It proves you're doing the work.
Exactly. And that transparency builds immense trust, which opens doors to entirely new categories of sponsors. We call them non-endemic sponsors.
Okay, explain non-endemic for the listeners who might be new to that sponsorship terminology.
Endemic sponsors are brands directly related to your sport. So a bike manufacturer sponsoring a cyclist, or a cleat company sponsoring a soccer player.
Right.
Non-endemic sponsors are completely outside your immediate sport. When you start sharing your sleep data, your recovery scores, and your daily biometric output, suddenly you aren't just pitching sports drink companies.
Oh, I see.
You are pitching wellness brands, mattress companies, sleep tech wearables, and even financial tech brands that want to associate their corporate image with data-driven performance and longevity.
So you are basically transforming from a human billboard into a living, breathing case study for human optimization.
Exactly.
So what is the actionable step here? How does the listener monetize their process today?
Create one strictly data-driven post or short video today. Break down a key workout from this week, but show the receipts. Do not just post a sweaty selfie.
Give them the hard numbers.
Yes. Include a screenshot of your heart rate chart, your power output graph, or your GPS map. And critically, you have to attach a simple call to action.
Don't just give the data away for free without capturing the audience.
Exactly. Set up a basic email capture via a free tool like MailChimp or ConvertKit. Tell your audience, if you want my full, unedited weekly training template, click the link in my bio and drop your email. Or direct them to a low-price subscription community like Patreon, where you post your actual daily routines. Start monetizing the process, not just the podium.
Show the receipts and capture the email. That is incredibly practical.
Which brings us to our final core topic today. If biological data and AI are the new currency, then traditional sponsorships, the old model of just slapping a logo on a jersey or a bike frame, those are becoming rapidly outdated.
They are, and the playbook is being completely rewritten right now by enterprise tech companies. We reviewed a major report from Sponsor United detailing business-backed sponsorship trends.
What they found is that massive multi-billion-dollar tech brands, companies like AWS, Cisco, Sony, Microsoft, and Google Cloud, are fundamentally changing how they spend their marketing budgets in sports.
Because they aren't just buying 30-second commercials or outfield billboard space anymore. They are physically embedding their cloud infrastructure, their networking cables, and their AI software directly into the sports property's daily operations.
Let's look at the mechanics of the examples the report cited. Cisco is powering Wi-Fi 7 and cybersecurity for entire NFL stadiums. AWS is using generative AI to ingest decades of PGA Tour video and create personalized highlight hubs for fans. And Sony is embedding its Hawkeye visualization stack directly into NHL broadcast workflows.
Now, for those who might not know, Hawkeye is that incredibly complex optical camera tracking system. It's what they use in tennis to see if a ball was a millimeter over the line, or in soccer for offsides. So Sony is using the NHL to show off how fast their cameras can track a tiny hockey puck moving at 100 miles an hour.
And that is the key takeaway here. Sony isn't sponsoring the NHL because they think hockey fans are going to buy a consumer camera. They are using the NHL as a high-stress, highly visible B2B showcase.
Right.
They want to prove to other television networks and massive corporations that their tracking technology works perfectly in the most chaotic environments possible. The value of these deals is measured in operational enablement and case studies, not just raw billboard impressions.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Those are massive billion-dollar league examples. If I'm an individual alternative athlete, how does this apply to me? I can't exactly offer AWS an entire stadium to wire up.
No, but you have something the NFL doesn't have. Extreme agility.
Yeah.
If you are a niche property or an individual alternative athlete, you are a Nimble testbed. Enterprise tech companies, startups developing new biometric wearables, software developers building new video analytics tools, they desperately need real-world showcases for their products before they can sell them to the massive leagues.
So a pro mountain biker navigating brutal terrain with a prototype altimeter, or a United Soccer League team tracking player load over a grueling summer season. You are perfectly positioned to pilot these tools. You become an infrastructure partner. You are beta testing their software in the dirt.
Yes. And to layer onto that, we also reviewed takeaways from the SXSW conference in Leah Haberman's newsletter. She noted a massive macro trend. In a digital world completely saturated with AI-generated content, in-person experiential marketing and intimate, unedited audio are becoming the ultimate differentiators for brands.
Wow.
People are craving real, messy human experiences because they instinctively can't trust what they see on a screen anymore.
Which perfectly aligns with being a real-world testbed. You are out there in the elements. You are the authentic experiential proof of concept that these tech brands need to cut through the AI noise. So what is the action item for the listener to capitalize on this infrastructure shift today?
Your action for today is to look at your current training or event environment. Identify one tech or data product that is already active in your space. This could be your GPS watch, your timing chip system, a new video analytics app on your phone, or your recovery tech.
Right.
Find the product manager or regional marketing contact for that vendor on LinkedIn and propose a specific case study content piece.
What does that pitch actually look like, though? Like, what do I type?
You send a message saying, I'm a professional athlete currently using your software to prep for this upcoming season. I want to stress test your newest feature in a real-world environment and document the results in a raw 5-minute video review. You offer them valuable research and development feedback and a highly authentic piece of marketing collateral.
And what do you ask for in return?
You do it in exchange for a fee, a premium product tier, or cross-promotion on their channels. Stop asking for handouts and start offering R&D value.
Offering R&D value completely flips the script on how athletes normally view themselves.
It really does.
So, what does this all mean for you today? Let's synthesize this deep dive. If you are a modern Tier 2 or alternative athlete, you cannot just view yourself as someone who competes on a weekend. The traditional VIP club velvet rope is gone, which is great, but that means you are responsible for building your own house.
You have to wear 4 distinct hats now. You are a media channel leveraging live streams to capture an audience. You are a highly engaged micro-influencer commanding real advertising dollars because of your vertical trust.
Yep.
You are a digital product creator monetizing your biometric data. And you are a walking, breathing testbed for enterprise tech companies.
It is a totally different operational mindset. And remember, you have a do-to-day checklist. You need to audit your content for a repeatable format. You need to build your one-page rate card with clear pricing tiers. You need to create a data-driven post with an email capture link. And you need to pitch an R&D case study to a tech vendor you already use. Do not let this day end without executing those steps. That is how you operate on the AthletePRNR operating system.
And as you go off to execute that checklist, I want to leave you with one final, slightly provocative thought to chew on.
Hit it on us.
We've talked a lot about AI today. AI training platforms, AI generating perfect workout blocks, AI analyzing video. As those tools become increasingly capable of perfectly analyzing your sport, predicting outcomes, and generating the absolute optimal training plans for anyone on Earth, raw data is eventually going to become a cheap, widely available commodity.
Right. If everyone has access to the perfect plan, the plan itself loses its premium value.
Exactly. So here's the question you need to answer for your own personal brand. If artificial intelligence can eventually replicate your process perfectly, what is the one unreplicable, messy, purely human element of your personal athletic journey that a sponsor will gladly pay a premium for tomorrow?
Wow, the human element. That's what it all comes back to. Keep driving that food truck, folks. The bouncer at the VIP Club is officially out of a job. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Get out there, check off that list, and we will catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Daily Sports Content Economy Podcast. If you're ready to build your content media empire, we should probably talk. Visit rootgroupmarketing.com. Thanks for watching and listening.